Welcome back, guys. This is Gaming with Austin, and today we're going off towards episode 64 of the Utopian Community series. I'm gonna have to alter the brightness settings. Good. Change game mode. Much better. One thing you'll notice, one thing you might know about, is that I'm gonna start building, turning this slowly into a more advanced community. The reason I tuned up the brightness so it'll be easier to play when it's nighttime in the game. Yes, I'm talking about nighttime in the game, not in real life. One thing you might know is that AMD might think about releasing the Polaris 30 GPUs to compete with NVIDIA's 20 series, RTX 20 series graphics processors. Just moving the cord out of the way of my stool. Sorry about that wacky movement. My apologies. Oops. Forgot about that chunk of wood right there. Das ist ein Pferd. That Pferd is German for horse. The word Pferd comes from the Latin word ferus. Equus ferus. Which is an Equus ferus is a binomial name for the horse. Let's adjust. Or maybe. Much better. Now I can see. The horse, the ass, and the zebra are all related to one another. Because, you know, the zebra, the donkey, and the horse are all equines. And in Shrek the Third, Donkey was galloping to Barracuda by heart. It would be better if they were galloping to Holy Wars by Megadeth. Because both Holy Wars and Barracuda have the galloping riff. Let's talk about some other stuff too, other than just music. One thing you'll notice is that I changed the game time to day, always day. I know this may be cheating, but I did this to facilitate my construction. How people trade? Good old bartering. Some good old bartering. One thing you'll know on the news recently is that North Korea is using cryptocurrency to evade sanctions. The US is using cryptocurrency to ditch US sanctions, which sucks balls. Big time. One thing we may need is peace talks between the peninsula. Because that's how we can prevent World War III from breaking out. A peace talk between those two Koreas and the two Chinas. Taiwan, which is also known as the Republic of China, and the People's Republic of China. I might, eventually, if I end up getting enough money, whether it be from other jobs if I was to get a job, I might use some of that to go to Japan. Or maybe Taiwan for Computex. Or maybe Las Vegas for CES. Because I'm all into computers. I love working with computers. That's one of my hobbies. As the news people said when I was actually on the news just before my graduation. Like, before my graduation, I was actually on the news. I was able to beat the odds. With my when I was diagnosed with autism. It's best we need to start spreading awareness of the disorder. Because the incidence of autism is actually growing. No, it's not because of vaccines. Anti-vaxxers are actually a bunch of liars. To prove that, you may want to check out a video called Debunking Anti-Vaxxers. A lot of the environmental factors of autism are the factors the autistic person cannot control, like the age of the mother and the father. If I had kids, I'm gonna vaccinate them. If I had kids, I'm gonna vaccinate them. Why vaccinate my kids? One thing I'm trying to do. Got it. There is proof that vaccines do not cause autism. What the anti-vaxxers really are doing is spreading fake news. Autism is caused by a couple factors. Prove the odds of an MMR vaccine having a shelf life of 25 years, slim to none. It's very remote. It's actually pretty remote. I meaning your chances of getting autism from vaccines is slim to none. Which means that your vaccines will probably not, will very likely not cause autism at all. Chances are very remote, which is good. So feel free to vaccinate your kids. Like, don't leave them unvaccinated because you're putting them at risk for illness. Vaccinate them starting at birth in case their mother because if their mother has hepatitis, there's a pretty good chance they're gonna get it too. I'm gonna throw some. Much better. Let's just throw some eggs out. But egging houses, that is just stupid. And I'm also making another groove so I could plant more trees in later episodes. And eventually I'd start... And eventually I'd start building high-rises. High-rise apartments. One of the factors behind autism, no, it's not vaccines. The environmental factors, some of them the mother and father can control, some of them they can't. They can't control. They have no control of some of those factors. One of those factors they cannot control is the age. Just like whenever I went to prom, my prom date had some things in common with me. One of those things she had in common with me was that she had autism too. She had autism too. Just like me. Imagine a prom couple in which both members of that couple are autistic. That's what I did right there when I went to prom. And what sucks about North Korean sanctions is that they refuse to follow them. Which sucks pretty bad. And if Nazi Germany was still here today, the whole world would smack Nazi Germany with sanctions. Ranging in China, it's not just us Americans that would smack Nazi Germany with sanctions. China would smack Germany with sanctions too, if they were still fascist. The reason Hitler would be smacked with a shit ton of sanctions is because some of it's related to crimes against humanity. Hitler's crimes against humanity. One of those... Who would I consider a hate group? Al-Qaeda. Oops. Accidentally summoned Cortana. Why consider Al-Qaeda a hate group? They do something related to ethnic cleansing. Like, they purge both religious and ethnic Jews out. Which is... They even purge Christians out of their area. Which is not very nice. To prove that religion should have no place in government, look at the Middle East. The king's not allowed to feminize politics because, just like everybody else in the Middle East, the king of Saudi Arabia has to follow Sharia law too. Because if he didn't follow Sharia law, he would probably get executed for treason. There is this extremist group based in Africa that is trying to purge Christians from the face of the earth, called Al-Shabaab. For me, the most important thing we have is the people. People are the most important thing we have, along with animals. Some people have them as pets. Animals are used to control our ecosystems. Because if we hunt down deer for food, you might be stealing animals from food source for other animals too, which sucks. Which is not fair for the animals. They need some of that food too. They need some of that food too. Not just us humans. They need it too. Like the Bears. No, I'm not talking about the Chicago Bears. I'm not talking about the Chicago Bears. I am not talking about the Chicago Bears. I'm talking about actual bears. One of the worst things to ever happen in the face of history, the Holocaust. It's one of the worst things to ever happen. The worst thing to ever happen in the South was racial segregation and slavery. Those two things were one of the worst things that has ever happened in the South. We need to make sure something like that never happens again. My stance towards immigration is, I'm a little conservative about it when it goes to overpopulation. What makes me a little conservative about immigration is the risks of overpopulation. See, that's the main problem with... That's my main problem with open borders. See, that's my main problem with open borders in the country. See, that's my problem with open borders in the country. See, that's my problem with open borders in the country. See, that's my problem with open borders in the country. Is that if we open up our borders, the demand for resources in the United States will grow. Which means the potential risk of a famine. If a famine was to strike America, most of us would be screwed. Even those who get paid a lot of money may end up being broke as fuck. The leading cause of death in America, in that famine-struck country, in that famine-struck America, would be heart attacks. But those heart attacks would be related to the famine. There are risk factors of heart disease we just cannot control. One of those factors is actually related to age. The cause of senescence, a lot of it has to do with entropy. Entropy always increases. Biological immortality might violate the laws of thermodynamics, which is the problem with trying to achieve true immortality, which humans can live for billions and billions of years and still look the same. See, that's a problem. with trying to achieve true immortality. See, that's the problem with trying to achieve true immortality. See, that's the problem with achieving true immortality. The laws of thermodynamics might not allow that. Because why? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, just like matter. A lot of the millennials who are my stance towards capitalism is we need to abolish it. We need to abolish capitalism. In favor of social democracy and democratic socialism. And anarchism. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video. Dislike if you disliked it. Subs if you loved it. Share this with your friends on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. As always, follow me on Instagram for more updates on the Utopian Community series. And as always, thank you for watching and peace out.